What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, tribe, how you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. To all my new subscribers, I hope you are enjoying the content. Make sure you drop a comment, like and share this video, you guys. So this is Love and Hip Hop Hollywood season. Shoot, what season we on? 4? Oh no, we're more than that. We're more than that. Season 6, episode 4. That's where I got the 4 from. So we start this episode off. The fellas are playing basketball. We have Booby. We're gonna get back to Booby. Um, A1. We have what's his name? Mac, the rapper with the long hair. I don't know why I can't remember that man's name. Anyway, because I keep wanting to call him Mac something. I don't know, and I know that's not right, but it's Mickey D. It's an M. I'm gonna get it in a second, but it's an M. So him, A1, Booby, and then a couple of Booby's friends from the three ball basketball league, Ice Cube's league, my husband. And Booby is talking about, your boy Bag, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I got drafted into the league, or I joined the league, but I didn't get drafted by a team. I feel like maybe the way that league works is that you like put your name in the hat and then they draft players, and it's 3-on-3 basketball. It's actually pretty interesting. I've been watching it. It comes on if you like basketball, and this is like a dead zone for basketball because the playoffs. I mean, the championship, the NBA is over and it doesn't start again until the fall. It's a good little segue. Um, but anyway, and they didn't come to DC this year. Hopefully they'll add DC to their tour next year. So we can get to a game. But neither here nor there. So the fellas are basically going around. Oh, Fizz is there. They're basically going around in a circle talking about they woman problems. So we find out that Lyrica's not talking to A1, and he confessed to the fellas that it went down between him and Summer Bunny. Fizz is still sticking to that bull hockey that him and April ain't messing around. They not together, but they just really good friends. And Booby was like, yeah, because I really wanted to shoot my shot, at April, but I don't really want to step on your toes. I don't know what's up with that. And of course, Fizz is like, ain't nothing up with that. We good, we good, we good. And I'm like, it's more to that story. It's whatever. Well, we already know. I'm not even entertaining that. The other thing Booby said was that he didn't get drafted onto a team because of the politics, because friends were just picking their friends. You don't have no friends? Anyway. Lyrica is with Princess looking at apartments. She said, look, I don't know if I'm ready to leave A1 or not, but I do know that if I do, I need to figure this out. So she's out looking at apartments and just really trying to figure it out. At the end of the day, it's a hard decision to make. It's a serious decision to make. And so, you know, and Princess says, look, I can empathize with her. I know what it's like to have marital issues. And it'd be out there for the public to, deal with and dissect while you're trying to process and figure out what you want to do with your husband. And so, it is what it is. Then we see Miss K. Let me tell y'all how about K. Michelle is funny to me. K. Michelle is hilarious to me. Do y'all understand how funny she is to me? Later on in the episode, and I'm gonna say this now because I'm gonna forget. She rolled up on Lyrica. They had that beef last year. She rolled up on Lyrica. Lyrica saw her. K. Michelle was like, I'm here. She said, I'm here. She said, I'm here for peace, bitch. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So her and Brittany B are talking. And we find out in this conversation a couple of things. One thing, you know, Kim, K. Michelle is one of those people, and this is what I respect about K. Michelle. K. Michelle has hustled. K. Michelle has worked her ass off, and when she didn't have a major record deal, she still put music out, and it became very popular. So she's very harsh on judging other artists on what they're doing and not doing. And Brittany B brought up the fact that she's been working with Black China and so forth and so on. And K. Michelle just wasn't here for it. She was like, whatever. I don't have no interest. I'm not entertaining somebody who, really don't have the kind of talent that I know I have, or is riding off of some other. Like, I really feel like she's like, look, she riding off of that wave, that Kardashian wave or whatever, and I'm just not here for it. But to Brittany to Brittany B's out of respect, respect to Brittany B, she was like, look, you don't really know. You don't know how hard that woman has worked. You can't judge her. And Kim was like, you know what, you're right. She was like, you're right. I can't. She talked about the struggle with the IVF and how she's not sure whether she wants to go another round or not, and how, some women just really take for granted, that their bodies will just work when they're ready for them to work. And a lot of people do that. They think that, hey, when you're ready to have a baby, you just have sex and it goes down. Um, the other thing they talked about, we found out, is that Brittany B and Lyrica have a history. They used to be friends. They used to be really good friends. And then um, something went down. She said Lyrica done got brand new. Now, it's funny because a lot of people always say that Lyrica sort of had it going on before A1, and Lyrica was carrying A1 until he hit big, and now he's sort of bigger than she is. But Brittany is the first person that I've ever heard say that it's the other way around, that Lyrica is just riding off of A1 and she wouldn't have a career without him. But I just think that's hate coming because I've never heard that narrative before. Then they showed this old picture. Now, look, let me tell y'all something. I am so sick of these plastic bodies. I'm just really, really sick of these plastic bodies. They showed this old picture of Brittany B and Lyrica. Now, mind you, they had beautiful bodies. They flat stomachs, all of that. But they didn't have none of them hips, them thighs they got now, them breasts. I was like, but they were beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But you look at them now, you look at all the augmentation and stuff, and it's like, I'm just sick of these women mutilating their bodies, man. Anyway. Oh, what's his name? Mac Main? What's that man name? I know y'all gonna tear me up in the comments because I can't get this man's name right. But I should have wrote it down. Y'all know I'm terrible with names. But Mac Main, I'm just calling him that for now. I know that's wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna get his right name. Hold on. Because I'm not gonna keep calling that man out his name. Um, but we also found out from him that he's got a little bit of history. And his history includes Akon. So we'll get to Mr. Akon. But what we found out about him is he used to date one of Akon's wives. We know that Akon has like 5 or 6 wives. And that's not an exaggeration. That's not his name. We're gonna call him Mickey. I know Mickey's right. I just don't know about the last part, but I know his first name is Mickey. Well, we find out that he was dating one of Akon's wives, and she looked like she looked so plastic. And again, we saw a picture of her when her and Akon got married, and she was a beautiful girl. But now she's got the lips pumped, and it's just, anyway. But that situation got a little complicated because he ended up signing to Akon Convict Music. And Akon made him a whole lot of promises about, we're going to get you on the radio. You got a hit on your hand. We're going to boom, boom, boom. We find out that he had an opportunity to actually be on Empire, have like a starring role on Empire. Like, not, I'm sure probably as one of the artists on the label, but he turned that down because Akon was like, nah, we ready to roll. We're going to get you on the radio. We're ready to put your music out now. He said, Akon even said, I will pay you to not do the show. I'll pay you to not do Empire so you won't be, you won't be split. Your time won't be split and we can get this music going. And he's talking to his family and he said, look, I really realized I made the wrong decision because here I am, fast forward a couple of years later, no music, no acting. And he said he enjoys acting, but his first love is music. So I don't know if acting is something he's done regularly, or he just lucked up on that role. But anyway, he also has a daughter that he was like is the love of his life, and she got a head full of hair just like him. She's a cutie. We find out now that he is currently dating a model who actually has a contract with Fenty and is really doing some great things in the modeling world. She's a little cutie too. And she has a story. She was homeless on the streets and some more stuff, and now she's kind of got it together. So we learn a little bit more about Mickey this episode. Then we switch over to Akon and Mickey's ex-girlfriend. Um, she actually works for Convict Music, and he's no longer with them, obviously, because she done went back with Akon, and he was like, yeah, that was a little bit tricky, that I was dating the CEO's wife, but they was together, but they weren't together, but it was a lot. So, yeah, we ain't really messing with each other anymore, and I'm not really with his label anymore. Um, She was like, now look, here you go, Akon. And I know we only have one side of this story, but here's the thing, Akon. If you want to have more than one wife and wherever you doing it is legal and you cool with it and they cool with it, that's fine. But she said she didn't find out about the other wives until after they were already married. Now, Akon, you can't do that. If you gonna have a harem, you gotta let them know that they in a harem. They will probably still be in the harem because you rich. But you can't just be putting people in the harem and don't give them an opportunity to fill out the proper application process and know it's okay. You can't make nobody a sister wife and they don't know they a sister wife. That ain't right. But we see them talking or whatever, and they have this real awkward conversation about Mickey. And Akon was like, he's really talented, and I'm sorry things didn't really work out with us, but I wish him well, that kind of thing. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get back to that, I am sure. Lyrica and A1. We back to the house with Lyrica and A1. Lyrica is barely speaking to A1. And A1 is talking like, look, here you go. Normally, y'all know how he doing his confession. Normally, I will, when I mess up, I throw a bag at her or something, buy her some jewelry, but I know this time that's not gonna be good enough. How many times have you cheated that you got your routine down? You just throw a bag, throw some jewelry, and it's all good. Come on, Lyrica, do better. So, um, it's I guess there's just no right words when you cheated. You just gotta let somebody process, and either they're gonna accept it or they not. And he was just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like it was so dry. So then he says, look, I really want us to try to get back on track. He was like, do you just not want to be with me anymore? And she said, and she gave a really honest answer. She said, look, I honestly cannot say that I'm ready to leave you. But what I can say is this is the closest I've ever come. I said, see, there you go. You can only push people, but so far, so long, so much. Um, so he decides to invite her to come out on the road with him because she was like, look, I don't know what you've been doing. You've been on tour these last couple of weeks. How do I know you ain't been sleeping around while you've been on tour? We going through something. So he invites her to come out on tour with him. He's got a couple of more dates. Like I think he says he's got 2 or 3 more dates. So he invites her to come out on tour with him for these last couple of dates. And he was like, get your mom to watch the baby. I'll let you perform your single. And she was hesitating. He was like, oh, come on, sold out arenas. You don't want to take that opportunity to sing your song. And she was like, I don't feel like faking. Like, I don't feel like pretending like everything is okay with us and everything is all good. And it's not. Like, yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to perform and put my music out there. But at the same time, I'm not, I just don't, I don't have it in me to play that game. I don't have it in me to fake the funk. And I feel where she's coming from. I absolutely do. Now, Miss K. Michelle has decided to do another round of IVF. And again, I don't think people really understand how involved IVF is. IVF is hard on a woman's body. And you're pumping so much into your body, your mood swings and everything. You can't be straight. It's so much. It's so much and expensive. I don't think that's K. Michelle's biggest concern, but it's very expensive. And so but she's decided that she really wants this baby or babies, and this is how it has to happen. Okay. Moniece and April. They with the vocal coach because they getting ready to go on tour. Brittany B shows up. Now, Brittany B can sing better than both of their asses. But Brittany B shows up and she tells them point blank, like, look, I just don't know how I'm feeling about this. Like, Moniece, you are my friend. April, the only thing I know about you is that you wrote a diss song about my friend. And now y'all all kumbaya and I'm supposed to just be cool with that. And y'all want to go out on tour together and you want me to help set some stuff up for you. And her thing is, look, first of all, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I still need to kind of figure out how I feel about this. And if this is where if I'm cool with this whole situation. That's number one. Number two, um, I don't know how I really feel about it because April, I just don't know you like that. The only music I know from you is a diss record. I ain't heard no other songs from you. I just don't know nothing else about you. She said, and Moniece, be clear. Me and you are friends, but I am not gonna take it easy on you. Okay. So I ain't a bit more worried about this tour taking place than I am worried about the Spice Girls getting back together with all of the original members. I, I just don't see it happening. And I see them getting back together with all original members before I see this tour ever happening. Okay, so I ain't really worried about it. I'm not worried about this going down. I'm just not. K Michelle said, "Look, in the grand scheme of things and in life, I have bigger fish to fry. And what went down last year between me and Lyrica was bullshit. I was tripping. She was tripping. I overreacted. She responded. I felt like she was being real disrespectful when she was late to my album release listening party or whatever it was. But I overreacted. My reaction was unnecessary. And at this point in the game, it's not even worth it. It's not worth carrying the beef on. So she ends up rolling up on Lyric, and that's the part where I said, Lyrica looked up and saw K Michelle walking up in there. K Michelle was like, I come in peace, bitch. I said, you know what? That damn K Michelle. She just funny to me, y'all. I'm sorry I never looked at her reality show now, because I never looked at her reality show, but I feel bad now. I feel like I should have looked at it because she's hilarious. I might go back and look at some old episodes, honey. But they actually get to talking and they do apologize and they sort of squash the beef. And then she goes to talk to her about, she said, look, I see what's been going on with you and A1. And she said, I kind of feel bad because I threw that thing out last year about Safari. I didn't expect it to take off and become this big rumor. I was just throwing it out there. And I'm sorry. I apologize for that. She said, but I understand what you are going through. I went through the same thing. She said, but at the end of the day, you got a baby to take care of. She said, and whether you choose to stay with him, because Lyrica was saying that she never wanted her son to have to grow up in a broken home, and she didn't have her mother and father in the house, and that's what she wanted for her child, which I think that's what most people want, but unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. Okay, Michelle said, whatever it is, whether y'all decide to co-parent or y'all decide to work this out, understand something. At the end of the day, you can't lose you. You have a talent, and that's what you need to focus on. Whatever's going to happen between you and A1 is what's going to happen. But you focus on your talent and you focus on your craft. And you got to take care of that baby. I said, you better tell her, K Michelle. You better give her some good advice. And it was cool. It was a good conversation. And K Michelle was crying and Lyrica was emotional. And so it was good. It was a really good conversation. Now on the other hand, we see Mickey meet up with his ex-girlfriend. I don't know what's going on with that. Because she's talking about how her and Akon are back together and everything is cool and she's happy. But then when he's telling her that, about his new girlfriend and his relationship, you don't really love her. He was like, how you gonna tell me who I love and who I don't love? I mean, she was like, I mean, I know your type. I know you. I know what you like. And you're not really you don't really love her. He was like, look, she is, outside of the box of what I would normally date, but I'm feeling her. Like maybe that's what I needed. Like I really do like her. And he said in his confessional, like, look, things didn't really end the best with us, but we were friends before anything else. And, I would really like for us to have a friendship again. And so I don't really, like I said, I don't know where we're going with this whole scenario between him, Akon, and the girl. I don't know. But she said her and Akon been back together for a couple of months now. I guess she the LA wife. I don't know how that works. So she the wife that live in LA. I mean, Akon just have wives like people have houses. He just when he in a different city, that's his wife for that place. I don't know. Anyway, so we got to keep our eye on that one because, like I said, I'm just not really sure where that whole situation is going. But we'll find out. I'm sure I'm sure they're gonna let us know. I think anyway, we'll see where that goes. Last but not least, we have Miss Brittany B is having her event. She's having a mixer. She said, look, I know a lot of industry people, and it's a place for us to mix and mingle, get to know each other, chop it up, whatever, whatever. And it looks like it's at a little bowling alley and everything. Now remember, Zell was invited to this event. And he brings Paris with him. Now, Mr. Ray is there. Jason shows up. Now, Mr. Ray and Jason seemed, I guess, because Mr. Ray was rolling his eyes and stuff while Jason was talking, and they're actually putting together a showcase with Hollywood Unlocked. Jason is going to do it with Brittany B and K Michelle. And actually, K Michelle invited Lyrica to perform at the event. So they were kind of talking about that or whatever. I'm laughing already. Zell ass is crazy. So Zell brought Paris with him to the event or whatever. And then Brittany's thing was, look, I invited Zell because, he's a stylist. He's in the area in the industry. I invited him to come and socialize, but I didn't invite Paris, and K Michelle is my girl. So I really don't know how I feel about Paris's um Stephen as ex-assistant up in the house. But she was like, I guess she was like, all right, I'm gonna let her live. I'm gonna let her live. Zell and Mr. Ray, they have a little moment where they hug and everything. They had their beef, and they both acknowledged that what it was, and Mr. Ray was like, hey, look, I can squash it, I forgive, but I don't forget. I got my good eye on him. I still got my eye on him because you never know. He was like, a leopard don't change his spots. Now here's where Paris went left. You weren't invited to the event. Brittany really didn't want you there, but she was gonna she made a little snide comment about the Uber thing. Y'all remember Paris stole the money to get the Uber ride, but I think she was gonna let her stay. But then Mr. Ray and Zell, they started really talking and chopping it up and having a whole conversation, and they was all kumbaya. And Paris was like, "All right, that's enough of that. All right, whatever, let's go. That's enough of that." And she was like, "You know what? That's cool. You speaking everything, but we ain't got to do all this yang yang yang. We ain't got to be all kumbaya, whatever." And that's what pissed Brittany off. Brittany was like, "See, I was gonna let her live, but I don't like her energy." So then she basically said, "Look, Zell, I invited you. I didn't invite her, and I really don't want her here." Well, y'all know Zell. Zell ride hard for his friends. I give him credit for that. He ride hard for the people he cool with. He ride for them. So he started reading Miss Brittany down, talking about she looked like a highlighter. Look, she did have a neon yellow bodysuit on with them big ass fake hips, and it wasn't cute. And then she started talking about the Uber ride again. Paris was like, "Oh, that's what you threw that dig out about the Uber ride." She was like, "Really? That's all you got? You ain't got nothing better than that?" And it looks like it's about to turn into a whole little melee, and that's where the episode ends. So I'm sure next week we'll pick up with the melee and we'll see how that whole thing went down. But honey, that's what that was. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.